Hello? Hello? Thì có phải link này.
Yeah. Ik denk hij het net geweest gaan live, so sal nou enige oomblik die link kry. Ik zie het van je links met allemaal. Ja?
Sy gevonden ook in sy cross-network plans. Ja. jag kan joina.
Ja. Okej. Det var inte nästan an.
Meillä was afmaken het nog.
Det kommer skriva om vilka det är på nytt.
Are you guys joining? Why you guys say management? We're not seeing you. Det var geweldig.
Ja, die krijgt.
هلا allemaal is in een lesson ons niet dan.
Ja, is best.
Ja, net ook dus kort verhaal van wat allemaal.
Oké, vaak moeilijkheid.
Verander dalk die password of iets of die lobbynaam. Nothing. Net maar snel. Oké.
Okay, there we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Six Man's event for tonight. My name is dfthaman, and with me is my friend and co-caster for this evening, Luke.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm very excited to be here.
So, Lucas, what do you make of this evening's lineup? I think some people call it an ensemble cast.
It definitely is, Dave. I think we have some of the best players in South Africa playing here today. In the one team, we have done a random draw. And in the one team, Biltong, we have Magoo, Nyanfo and Noclip. And Droebor's, Grinch, Mother and Capes. And I think we are going to have the age-old battle in South Africa, which is better, Biltong or Droebor's. So I think it's going to be an interesting one today.
Yes, I definitely do think this team lineup of Biltong and Droebor's definitely gives this a very, very South African flavor to tonight's matches.
Yes, exactly. And we have really some of the better players in South Africa, bar a few who couldn't make it tonight. But let's start to discuss these players, Dave. The first one and the only PS4 player we have here today is Papa Capes, who plays for Vex Phoenix or VXP. We know him as a very aggressive player. He has an aggressive playstyle, going for players' boosts, a lot of demoing, playing in the opposing players' faces. Do you think he will play the same tonight, or do you think he will be a bit more reserved?
Well, I think when we speak about the legendary Papa Capes, we can mention those two things. Boost starving and demoing the opposition, that is part of his playstyle, and I think especially since he started playing for VXP, he has brought a lot of change to the scene. We see a lot of teams now replicating or trying to do the same by boost starving their opponents or tactically demoing the opposition to score a goal, and we've seen with VXP especially that has led to some memorable victories. We also, Papa Cape's a very aggressive player, and he's also a very, very good striker. He can shoot from basically anywhere on the field, and he can shoot on target very, very well. And I think when we speak there about offense, but on defense, I think in my opinion that Papa Capes is one of the best backboard defenders currently in the local game. So I'm really looking forward to see what he can bring to the table tonight.
Definitely one of his strengths is backboard defending. Do you think the other players will know that strength, and how do you think they can combat that defensive strength he has?
Yes, I do think that because Papa Capes is known so well, that some of the players will know his playstyle and they will know that he is good aggressively and offensively, but as well defensively. But I think when we speak about tonight, we have an ensemble cast here of some of the best players South Africa has to offer. So I think if people are going to try a tactic of maybe a backboard tactic of hitting the ball against the backboard as a pass, we're going to see Papa Capes going up very, very quickly and clearing that ball away to avert the danger.
Indeed he will, Jeff. Then another player who is extremely well known in the South African scene is Nyanfo. He hasn't played for 3 weeks, so he might be a bit rusty today, and especially in this fast-paced game, he might take a few games to get warmed up, but we know he's an extremely good player. He reads the game extremely well. He's very aggressive when attacking, when someone dribbles the ball, and I think he will be a menace to my DF.
Yes, I think when we speak about Nyanso, we need to mention that he is one of the best 1v1 players, if not the best 1v1 player in South Africa. The one thing we need to mention, however, with Nyanso is that he was on vacation for a couple of weeks, so the question is he rusty tonight?
I definitely think he will be a bit rusty. It'll take him a few games maybe just to get the muscle memory back, but we know he has extremely good qualities. He's also been playing on this competitive scene with Elite Pro for a very long time, and he will not be a stranger to these big occasions.
I definitely agree with you. As you mentioned, he plays for Elite Pro, the current #1 team in South Africa, and he is one of the most valuable players in that team as well. He's a very good, like we said, very good one player, which makes him exceptionally good mechanically as well as positionally. He's always in position, ready to strike, ready to defend, ready to pass to a teammate. Very good awareness as well. So I think with whoever is teaming up with him tonight, really have a very good teammate in their team.
Definitely. Talking about big players for their teams, another one is Mother. So recently he and NoClip have won the 2v2 ACGL tournament in their debut in the ACGL.
Yes.
Do you think they will take confidence from that win?
Yes, I think, as you said now, like they haven't been playing much ACGL, but when they play, oh boy, they really bring a spectacle to ACGL. Because, as you said, their Mother, a very, very good player, one of the best as well in South Africa, and actually him and Nyanso were teammates not so long ago. But yes, so when we speak about Mother, he actually hit champ in competitive playlists in 2v2 last season, which is really impressive. Very, very impressive, coming from the team of OK Danger Kids, also currently the #2 team in South Africa, and also one of the top contenders for the upcoming DGC LAN event, which will be held at Rage from the 6th to the 8th of October in Johannesburg.
Yep, he's definitely made clear that they intend to win that tournament, and tonight might just be a staple of that again. I spoke to Mother a bit the other day on Discord, and he told me solo queues ranked a lot. Do you think that will help him just to read the game, to read his opponents? These guys haven't played together in a long time, or they haven't played together at all maybe. So it'll be important to just see how they can gel, and I think that will help Mother today. What do you think, Steve?
Yes, I think especially when we throw teams together like this tonight, with Mother playing with Greens and Capes, who he might not have necessarily played with before a lot, I think by solo queuing, that's going to really help him to quickly adapt to his teammate style, their way of communication, their way of playing, and adapt his own play style so that he fits in well into the team. So I think that experience, bringing that in, is a very valuable asset to the team tonight for Capes and Greensmaster.
Not on the same team today, but they did play ACGL together, was NoClip. So you have an interesting stat to share about NoClip, I believe.
Yes, so when we speak about NoClip, I believe that he has almost 4,000 hours in this fantastic game of Rocket League, which is a lot.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think with 4,000 hours, when we see NoClip play, we can see that he definitely does have 4,000 hours. His technical ability, his mechanical ability, positionally, he is very good. But the one thing that I want the people watching the stream to note about NoClip is that, in my opinion, he's one of the best solo players in the game when it comes to 3v3 though. Very, very good solo player in a 3v3 team, so he can make plays by himself, he can carry a team by himself. He's just fantastic. Like when you as a team might play well when you play against OK Impulse, but then just suddenly out of nowhere, NoClip comes with a fantastic air dribble or a fantastic long shot and just bamboozles the opposition. So I think having him in your team as well is going to be really, really interesting tonight as well.
It will definitely be interesting to see how he can play in this team as well. He's no stranger to high-level games like this, and I think with his individual ability, he will definitely be a player to look out for. especially in games like this where there are so many good players. Look
Yeah.
out for his individual plays tonight as well.
Yes, definitely. I think No Clip is definitely a player to look out for tonight. And I think that's what we're going to say actually of all these players is they are so good that each of them is going to bring something different to the table, something hopefully really amazing and make this a high level South African spectacle that everyone can enjoy.
Definitely. And we spoke earlier about when you and I started playing Rocket League, and one of the players that we played against and struggled against immensely and looked up to as well is Magoo. So we know he took a bit of a break from competitive Rocket League, and this is a good comeback for him. He's played excellent, even though he has taken a break. And it'll be interesting to see how he can play today with all of these players as well.
Yes, Lucas. So he took a break from competitive Rocket League for a while, and then suddenly he appeared in a recent ACGL as well, 3v3 tournament with teammates Ether and Grinchmeister, and they actually won that tournament pretty comprehensively, if you ask me, which just shows that he's still got it in him to play really well. And as you said, like when we were starting off playing competitive Rocket League in South Africa, like Magoo and players like Magoo and Nyanfo were players we look up to, and tonight is going to be really interesting now to see how Magoo is going to do in a team who, like we said, might not have necessarily played a lot with before, but I think Magoo is also one of those players who can adapt very easily. He's also, and I have to mention this, a very, very good 1v1 player. So I think that is one of the things of tonight teams as well. The players themselves are good 1v1 players as well, and as we know, with a 1v1, it teaches you things like mechanics, being able to read the game very quickly, to predict, and that is skills that when Magoo plays, you can see it in full effect. So to all the viewers watching tonight's game as well, look out for these players, look at what they're doing, especially if you're maybe in one of the lower ranks a bit stuck. Just see how they look at the game, try to imitate some of the stuff they attempt to do, because these guys have been in the game for a very, very long time, and they can definitely, watching their game can definitely benefit your game as well.
Exactly, just as you said, ADF. Something I would want to know from you, do you think these guys, you've said that they played 1v1s very well, someone like Nyanfo and Magoo, do you think they will slow the game down, and do you think that will benefit their teams, or do you think that just allows the opposition team to quickly get into position and attack them?
I think that tonight we're going to see very, very fast, high-level 3v3. I think if we're going to find players who try too many solo plays, taking the time too much, that is going to be a bit problematic, because the teams are so good that there isn't really anyone who we can say, you know, maybe they are not as good as the rest. Everyone here is on basically the same level. So I think, as we see with pro-level Rocket League, you have to play really, really fast and very efficient to be able to do well and score goals and make good plays. But the one thing I do think we do have to mention, and it's something we can speak about a bit more as well, is communication, right? So these teams are on Discord at the moment, speaking to each other, and as we know, Discord might have a small delay for South African players as the servers are located in the EU, and I think therefore we might see some double commits, we might see some mistakes defensively and offensively, but I think because these players are so good and so quick to react, we will see the players trying to minimize and avert the dangers of those mistakes really, really quickly.
Exactly, as you said. One player we haven't spoken about is Grinchmeister, Magoo's teammate in the RevNet June. When you think of Magoo, Grinchmeister, it's just, you think of like Fireburner type player. Alright, so he's very solid. He's a treat to have in your team, because you know that Grinchmeister will be there to help you rotate quickly and just make very little mistakes. Is that correct, Dick? Do you see that as well?
Yes, yes. When we speak about Grinchmeister, I actually love speaking about Grinchmeister's kind of play, because he's a very, very solid player. I like players who are solid, who try not always be too flashy. That's also a kind of player who I think I strive to be sometimes, not be too flashy, but generally be very, very solid in defense, very solid in offense, very solid in the midfield as well. And I think that is what Grinch brings to the field, and that is why we also I think it's a good that he plays tonight, because when you look at Grinch, you almost see a kind of South African Fireburner. So Fireburner is a professional Rocket League player playing for NRG, North American team, one of the best, if not the best, North American team at the moment. And when you look at Fireburner play, especially when he still plays with Batmobile like Grinch sometimes do as well, is that they don't do a lot of air rolls or aerials or go for fancy stuff. They just do textbook regular plays, but they do it so well and efficiently and quickly that it's top plays, and it just makes it a joy to play with such a player, because if you're in offense, you know he's going to be in defense. If you're in defense, you know he's going to go up and attack that ball. So I'm really looking forward to see how Grinch plays in tonight's team, but I think the players playing with him is going to have a very solid all-around capable player in the team.
Exactly. So we've almost gotten to the end of this game, where after I think we'll just take a 1 minute break, Jeff, and then we'll get started with this game.
Yes. So we will take a 1 minute break, and then we will start the next game.
Cool.
Right, so we will now start with the best of 7. So those 2 games you saw now were warm-up. We gave that to the teams to get the fingers warm, get the communications going. So I think, what are your thoughts on this, Lucas? Who do you think is taking this?
Well, I believe it's going to be a close game. Let's just reiterate the teams again. Biltong is Magoo,
Yes.
Nyanfo, and Noclip, and Drovor's, Grinch, Mother, and Capes. And just by looking at those teams individually, it's very close. But if I had to put money on it, I would say Biltong, which is Magoo, Nyanfo, and Noclip, is my favorites for this game. I don't know about you, DF. I think those 3 players will bring a lot of good plays today.
Yes, I definitely agree that let me put it like this. The favorite I think is also Biltong, Magoo, Nyanfo, and Noclip, but I don't think it will be any kind of pushover. I think Drovors have a very strong lineup with a very solid player, like we mentioned, Grinchmeister, Mother, who is very adaptable as well. So I think that will fit really well within the team dynamics, because as we said, Cape is a very offensive player. So he's going to go for that moment to strike and pounce on the ball and shoot. So having those teammates around Capes as well, I think, is really going to benefit the team of Drovers. But Biltong, yes, Magoo and Nyanfo, 2 of the best 1v1 players, and then as well as Noclip, who can come up with some of the most amazing individual plays that we have seen in South Africa.
I'm really looking forward to how Capes can adapt to this play. I think if he gets those big backboard clears and has big hits, I think that'll help Drovors immensely tonight. So I think it's an interesting thing to see today. So I'm looking forward to that. Just one thing I'd like to talk to you about, DF, before we get started in this game, is South African ping in Rocket League.
Yes.
How do you think that will affect these players tonight? And how badly do you want SA service?
Yes, I think when we speak about South African Rocket League, especially when it comes to competitive South African Rocket League, the one thing that always comes up is the issue about South African service. I know there are people in South Africa for and against South African service, but I think the general consensus is that we at least want South African service for the private matches like these ones. Right, so when we're playing ranked, we usually queue Europe, and we play with a ping of average 200 if you have good internet in South Africa, and you play against people with a ping as low as 8, 12, 24, 50, 56. So that really puts you at some disadvantage, and we have to counter that by being very good at being able to predict the ball, to block the ball, and also mentally try not to get that to us. The disadvantage of ping. But I think for tonight's match, even though the ping is still, average about 200, all the players play with, let's say, with the same disadvantage. So do you think maybe, Lucas, that is going to be important to note that everyone plays with the same disadvantage of about 200 ping?
Yes, exactly. And even DF, I don't like the excuse of using ping. I think you do that at your own peril. When you are mechanically sound, when you are excellent in rotation, that's when you can start complaining about your ping. But as soon as if there's anything in your game that you can still improve, you shouldn't worry about your ping. You should just continue improving, and I think that's something that South African players should really strive towards, is to improve and not worry about ping too much.
Yes, and I definitely agree with you, Lucas, because when you do your free play and your training, you don't play with any disadvantage, however there. So there you can really work on your mechanics, how to be mechanically a better player. And I think, like you said, once you can say, okay, I'm really mechanically good, it's just the ping holding me back, then you have a legitimate reason to say, okay, maybe my ping is actually keeping me from being a grand champ. But I think at the moment what we see is South African players, a lot of them, can still improve so much more positionally, mechanically. I think one of the things, Lucas, you and I speak about a lot is big clears. Do you think in this match is such a basic thing, but we will probably see a lot of big clears? Am I right?
I think that's something definitely to watch out for. Big clears to put the opposition under pressure, relieve some of your own pressure, and it'll be interesting to see how the opposing players, who is the subject of the big clears, can adapt to that and maybe counter that as well. But so far we've had a really close game, and good rotations coming in from all of these players. We've seen a couple of double commits, but I think that's expected with being on Discord, yes, not having played together a lot. So both teams still feeling each other out a bit.
Nyanfo, what a goal from Nyanfo!
Just
Let's
as
have
we
a look
said,
at this one again.
It's just as we said. It's a close game. Nyanfo comes up with a very good aerial, quickly up to that, and he puts his team is Biltong. He put Biltong up 1-0. So
yes, and I think that just shows that maybe Nyanfo is not as rusty as we thought he might be tonight. But I think that sometimes, Lucas, when you and I take a break from Rocket League sometimes, after we feel like we're not playing so well, or we are just not in the right mindset, then we feel like, okay, yeah, let's take a break, maybe a day or two from Rocket League, and we come back and you almost feel like you have a better perspective on the game. You feel more creative sometimes even.
Exactly. What I often feel is I lose some of my bad habits, and I think that's something that can happen when you take a break. You just shed off any negative thoughts you had on the game. You get you shake off any bad habits, and you just get that love for the game back almost. And that's something definitely to do when you are feeling bad at Rocket League. Just take a break, play something else, go outside, spend time with your family. And you
yes.
see Nyanfo again, the star player, again challenging quickly, like we said, DF, and he doesn't give his opponents any time, challenging Capes quickly. Capes probably going for a pass there against Magoo, but for Magoo, but Nyanfo reads that extremely well. Like we said, he reads the game very well, and that's something that the other team will need to watch out for.
So we see here the passing play there from Capes. He had the right idea, trying to pass it to Greensmeister, and just quickly cut out by Nyanfo. And this is the level of Rocket League play we're seeing here. People predicting what each other they're going to do. And at this level, we also see a lot of fakes, as we've seen tonight already. is where you predict the player is going to do. And Grinchmeister with a wonderful goal.
Just giving his team some hope again in this game. They are just trailing by 1 goal now, and definitely something now, much closer game. So let's see if this team can come back.
And that's exactly what we're speaking about. The prediction you can do on so many different levels. You can predict a pass, you can predict a shot, you can predict anything really. And like we see there, Greensmart is predicting when Janko is going to clear the ball, and he quickly goes up and puts it into the net. And suddenly the orange team is back in the game.
They'll just want to keep this momentum now. They have some attacking momentum. Open goal here for Biltong, but they couldn't capitalize on that.
Yes, very good opportunity there for Biltong. They just couldn't take the opportunity, and we wonder now, by not taking that opportunity to score there, if that might come back and haunt him again. You see Papa Cape's going up the wall here.
Against the wall.
Greensmeister with a nice big clear, but Magoo very quickly there to shut that out from developing into any opportunity for the orange team.
This is a 2v1 situation, and Mother scores to level this game, coming from 2-0 down. Very good. In Rocket League you can never say that the game is over, and that's exactly what Droeborg have done here. They have come back, and they are in a position now to challenge for this game again.
Very good pass there from Greensmeister. Mother following it up very quickly. I initially thought it was going to try and hit the backboard and do a Devo, where it hits the backboard and then straight from the Devo get a double touch, from the backboard get a double touch and score. But it didn't work out like that. It worked out better for him. It just went straight into goal. And we see the goal being run down now by the orange team.
And we will have our first game and first overtime.
Quite tense for a first game, don't you think, Lucas?
Exactly, and I think the momentum now with Droeborg, Droeborg. So I'm really hoping that they can take this now after coming from 2-0 back. That will be an amazing story.
Yes, that will be quite a comeback, and just shows you, like you said, Lucas, never ever quit in Rocket League. There's always a chance to come back. If you want 2 goals down, 3 goals down, even 4 goals down, maybe even more, you can always come back. This game is so quick, it's so fast-paced, and anything can happen.
Droeborg's a bit boost off now. You see Marcel just, Papa Cape just standing on the boost, waiting for it. He did get it though, and hopefully a big clear coming in, and that's exactly what happened. Big clear to relieve all of that pressure. And
that big clear also resulted in a very good pass to Magoo, or to Mother. Is it going in? Oh, very, very close.
Mother, and he wins it for Droeborg. Excellent passing play, and we see DF, the big clear from Papa Cape, setting up that opportunity. He misses the shot, but Mother is there to follow up, and that just shows the importance of those big clears. He waited for boost in the corner. He didn't have any boost, but by getting that boost and the big clear, he relieved the pressure, and he was able to set his team up. And that gives him a 1-0 victory or a 1-0 lead in this game.
Exactly, Lucas. That's where it all started, a big clear coming in from Papa Capes. As we said, he's very good on the backboard, but there he was excellent on the wall, hitting that ball, clearing it to the corner of the opposition team. That resulted in a pass for Mother. Mother hitting it, and then Greensmaster with a pass, and eventually it led up and it was a goal. Very, very good play from Droeborg there. And again, showing the importance of big clears.
Exactly. Nyanfo had 2 early goals, and that set them in a really good position. Do you think they could have done better, maybe played a bit more defensively, or did Droeborg just put too much pressure on them in the end there?
I think what happened, maybe when they were 2-0 down, they were trying to slow things down a bit too much, maybe even trying to just play a kind of relaxed kind of style of play and just keep the score at 2-0. And both of Droeborg said, they just said, we are having none of this. And they started attacking. We see passing plays coming in that game. If I remember correctly, there were 2 amazing passing plays that resulted in goals. And that's what we said in the beginning. Passing plays is something we're going to have to look out for, even if these teams don't play with each other that much. Just by a lot of them solo queuing, they've learned how to adapt to different play styles. And because their prediction game is so good, that when that pass comes off the backboard of the wall from a player's car, they immediately there to follow it up and score the next goal.
Some double commits though in the first game, DF, and that could just be maybe attributed to the communication through Discord or these guys not having played together a lot. So let's see if they can follow up this game with a bit better rotations and no overcommits.
I agree, and we're going here into game number 2.
As we see Mother going for the same ball as his teammate, that's something that we don't want to see in this high level of play.
And we see again there Magoo coming from the back ball, clearing it downfield. Grinchmeister with a big clear. Cape's following that up very quickly. And what a goal! That is amazing. That's just the passing plays we expect from this high level play. Look at this. Grinchmeister to Capes, Capes to Grinchmeister off the roof. Grinchmeister predicting that excellently. What a goal by Dribbles.
Excellent passing play, and this is exactly what we want to see, DF. Grinchmeister putting it up high, and Papa Capes there quickly to follow up with the pass, and then to Grinchmeister who scored.
Very, very good goal, and I believe if the orange team can keep that kind of passing play up, then the opposition team are in very, very big trouble. A good save coming in there from Magoo, another. Now we see the 1v1 skills there of Nyanfo coming in. Grinchmeister with a long clear downfield. He's going into the corners, nobody there, but Magoo quickly comes in and challenges that ball. Ball's going downfield again.
Nyanfo with the clear, not a big clear, but that will just relieve some pressure, and Magoo with a good, or Mother with a good challenge in the corner there. Grinch passing to the side, to the middle, but none of his teammates are there. He's just going to rotate back to get boost. Big against the backboard for Papa Capes. Oh, he just misses that. And Grinchmeister a bit to the front there. Pass to the middle. Grinchmeister pre-jumps. Luckily, nothing came of that. And an opportunity here for Drobors.
Big clear downfield, relieving the pressure. And Nyanfo almost getting that in goal. Close one. Blue team on the attack.
Big opportunity for them here, but it was well cleared by Mother. Here's Papa Capes on the backboard. Can he clear that? Not a great clear.
Close one there, no clip. Seems like it was always going for kind of a fake there, but quickly snuffed out by the orange team.
We see Nyanfo and Papa Capes against the wall doing a helicopter dance. Capes up high. A shot just off target, and it's able to be cleared by Magoo. Grinchmeister clearing, but this leads to a shot, and Papa Capes there to snuff that one out there.
So Lucas, what do you think the blue team needs to do to break down this stubborn defense of the orange team? Because it seems they are throwing everything at them right now, but every time the orange team just comes up with the goods.
Definitely, we see that the orange team, or Drobors, has been defending really well. I just think that the blue team needs to maybe try a change in tactics. We haven't seen great passing plays from them. Maybe that's something they can look forward to.
Yes, and we see there Papa Capes with a close miss. Magoo trying to push it upfield again. Magoo almost getting that air dribble there. Capes with a big clear downfield. Mother's waiting for it. It's passed infield. Oh, that's so close. Again, the passing play is coming in from the orange team. And Lucas, I must say, the orange team, when they start to play and they start to pass, they look very, very dangerous.
They do look extremely dangerous. Voltong not playing extremely well in this game. They haven't gotten good clears or good passing plays, and that's something they will definitely want to work on. We see again not a massive clear from Nyanfo, and Magoo is there though to snuff that danger out. Can we see a passing play here? No, Magoo tries to air dribble and he just misses that. Very good play by Magoo. And Mother now doing the same against them, but Magoo coming from both sides,
wonderful goal.
Capes.
Yes, so we see the air dribble coming in from the blue team, and then the orange team decide, okay, whatever you can do, we can do better. And okay, danger kids, Mother just air dribbling back. It resulted in a pass to Papa Capes, who then, as we said in the beginning, a very, very good striker, very clinical, and he puts that one away. 2-0 to Dribbles.
Magoo might have done better with that clear. I think he will be disappointed in himself not putting that one further against the wall in Papa Capes' driving abilities, and then he just gets that shot easily away. Something that I didn't expect is Droevoort being up 2-0 in this series, and that it looks like that's going to happen.
Yes. If you told me before the beginning of the game that Droevoort was going to take the first game and be up with a 2-0 lead in the second one, I wouldn't have believed you. But yes, they show that with good comms, good rotation, solid passing plays, good clears especially, that is a winning recipe against Biltong.
Exactly, and can we see a consolation goal here? No, we don't. They just want a bit of momentum here, the blue team, just to get something going for them to take into the second game, but they won't get it.
I think that's a very important thing you mentioned there, Lucas, is when you are losing a game, you know, okay, it's over. Let's say you have 10 seconds left or 20 seconds left and you're 4-0 down, like there's literally no way you can come back. Like it's literally impossible to come back from that. Then you need to try and get momentum for the next game. So you do that by trying your best, trying to just to get your foot into the game and hopefully get some momentum and take that into the next game so that you start the next game with that momentum and hopefully make a comeback.
As a team captain, that's something you definitely want to enforce, or always say to your players, if you are losing a series, just tell them, listen, reset, let's, even if you are like 10-0 or 5-0 down, just reset, let's assume it's 0-0 and win from that 0-0 position, and just to get the momentum back in your favor. It looks like the players want a server reset, so I think we'll just go out and create new servers. So Biltong has not won a single game yet. What do you think they need to improve on to be able to challenge Droevoort today?
I think the one thing I can answer that question by, let's look at Droevoort first, is they have big clears, they have passing plays, they seem to communicate effectively, rotate well, very little double commits. And I think that is what puts them at an advantage tonight. And I think that's what Biltong starts need doing. They need to have better clears. They need to try less individual plays. Try to maybe get the team as a whole playing together better. And I think then they might just get a foothold into the series, this best of 7 series. So just to recap for our viewers, it's a best of 7 series. That means the first team to win 4 games will win the series. Currently it is 2-0 to Droevoort.
Exactly, and I think the difference in that second game was just that Biltong didn't clear the ball good enough. That's something that they definitely will need to work on, and it's definitely not too much to ask from them. These guys are extremely good, and I'm looking forward to how they will adapt their play style now.
Yes, I think as well that what we can say about these top level players is they know how to adapt. We as casters might say they need to do this or that, but I think these guys playing on the field, they know best. So they will know, okay, we need to do this. And I think in that team as well, we have Magoo, we have Nyanfo, who can both serve as captains for that team and say, okay guys, we need to do this, we need to change this up. And I'm looking actually forward to see how they are going to attempt to do that.
Looks like Nyanfo just had a card change, and it wasn't necessarily the service that bothered him. Maybe just going back to the old trusted Octane.
Yes, I think that's a very interesting thing that Nyanfo does there. We've seen a lot of times when the players struggle, just that mental change of changing your car or changing your decal really makes a... Oh, and Papa Capes with a sneaky little goal in there. I don't think the defender expected that to go so low.
No, I didn't think he knew, and he was all turned around now, so he couldn't turn around quickly enough, and Papa Capes is a very good low shot, very difficult for the goalie to defend.
And as we were saying, Lucas, I think that's one thing that players do, changing a car, changing a decal, just to almost reset their mind. It's almost like a mini break that they do, going out of the menu, changing my car, I'm starting afresh. And it's almost like in sports that you mentioned to me the other day, Lucas, as well. Like in tennis, what players do in tennis is when they play a high-level match and maybe they are a game or two behind or a set behind, just to refresh mentally, they just put on something like a new shirt or like a fresh shirt, maybe a shirt of a different color.
Yeah. That's something that I used to do a lot when I played tennis, is change your shirt after a set. I also used to change my socks, and that just gives you like this fresh feel, and hopefully that's what Nyanto will do now as well.
Yeah. I think especially for a player that has gone from, and we see another goal there coming from Papa Capes. I think that is unfortunate that it seems like an own goal, but I don't think that is really. Capes just put a good shot on target. Magoo's so close to saving that. I think that deserves a very close one in the quick chat.
Yeah, Magoo had no chance to save that, and that ball was going in anyway. So again, we see Drobos dominating this game, DF.
Again, 2-0 up, Lucas. I think this is really impressive. That again we see another 2-0 up for Drobos, and you know what's the thing that I think is going to happen now? Drobos are getting comfortable. They're getting comfortable with how they play. They're getting comfortable with the positions play style. So we might even see more goals. And as I say, that Griesmeister comes in with a wonderful goal, an aerial goal, hitting it not too high in the corner, but just a powerful shot with the side of his car, and the defender just can't get it. Yeah, just good placement.
As we say, Griesmeister very solid. And we see there again he had a very solid shot, and that led to a very good goal. And the Drobos team just seems like they are gelling better than Biltong, and that's the difference at the moment.
Yes, definitely. I think that the passing play is coming in from Drobos, and the shots placement, the prediction is just so good from this team, and they're playing really well. Communicating well, and I think rotation for me, I think, is something we haven't spoke about a lot. How important is rotation, because at this high level of play?
At this high level, it's absolutely critical, Dave. You cannot go for the ball, two people going for the same ball. That just puts you at a very awkward position, and that is what separates high level players. As we see someone doing that, Magoo, scoring a goal and just giving some life again to these teams. Griesmeister not respecting that shot, driving forward, and Magoo put his team on the board.
Yes, exactly. And while we're speaking about rotation, I think that might actually be a rotational mistake from the orange team, not putting someone back at the net, expecting that shot, not someone. And Griesmeister with another goal. A very good goal there.
Good shot from the wall, but I think Magoo maybe something he just missed that ball completely, and that allows Griesmeister to score and put Drobos 4-1 up.
4-1 up, yes. And I think rotation is so important, as we say again. Like, you need to have someone defending if the other team is on attack, and you can't have double commits. And I think that's one of the reasons why Orange team are doing so well at the moment, is that their rotation are so good. So there's someone in midfield, there's someone in the striker position, there's someone to follow up.
That is excellent play, DS. Mother just leaving the ball for Capes and then going for the demo. I'm interested to see if Mother just going for Nyanto there. He didn't get the demo, but that just is excellent play and awareness.
Yes, that is a shot straight out of the Papa Capes textbook. You know, one player going for the demo and another player going then for the open goal, while the goalie's being bumped into smithereens. And very good showing again there from Orange team. And 5-1 up. Do you think that the blue team can come back from a 5-1 deficit, Lucas?
It's a tall order. I don't think they will be able to come back from this. And if they lose this game, they will have to perform a reverse sweep on Drobos, which I think is going to be extremely difficult. But I would be very interested to see if they can pull that off. Just note on that goal, Dave. It was as a result of Mother's big clear and following it up, putting it in the corner. And that's something we spoke at length about in this game, is big clears and relieving pressure, and that's exactly what Mother did, leading to that goal. And
Yes.
that's something we haven't seen a lot from Biltong, which might cost them this series.
Yes, I think that is something that all the players watching this can also take notice. When you are under pressure, a big clear is so valuable, and it does not require a lot of mechanical skill. If you can hit the ball well and hard, then you can make a big clear. So anybody at any level are actually supposed to do that, and it's an undervalued tool to have, because everyone thinks, oh, I need to save this or I need to score. But if you can just clear well, relieve pressure, and start your build-up play from there, it's valuable.
Excellent play from Janto, scoring a 1v1 type goal. Something we spoke about again, his 1v1 skill, and you see there, very good, just lifting the ball onto his roof, jumping, and that gets the ball over the defending player.
Yes, as we said, very good 1v1 player Nianto is. So scoring that, and as we speak now, we can see the opposition shifting to
Good
the blue
passing
team,
play.
and good passing play. No club finishing that off. Momentum, because that's what we spoke about, finishing a game that you know you are losing, finishing with momentum so that you can come back. Do you think that a reverse sweep is on the cards after this game?
Well, this game isn't over, DF. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but I think it's a tall order to come back from this, but a reverse sweep is going to be very, very difficult, especially with how well Drovos has been playing. And there we go. They are 3-0 up, DF.
3-0 to Drovos. Wow. Very
We
good
saw a good-
plays from them.
Now, we saw a good comeback there from Biltong. Nianto popping that ball up. He wanted to go up for it, but I think he maybe got a call from NoClip saying, listen, I've got this ball. He went up for it. Magoo and NoClip going for the same ball, but that's understandable if you are 5-2 down. And they just scored good goals with some momentum on their side now, and I think they will want to take that into the next games and do a reverse sweep.
Yes, I think that's very important to get momentum now on their side. If they can keep up that level of play going into the next game, and maybe just take the next game and give them that 3-1, it can really turn this whole tide on its head.
Definitely, and maybe just built on getting a bit complacent in that game. Being 5-1 up, they just maybe didn't really concentrate a lot, and maybe that could be to their peril.
And if you see the teams joining now, Biltong and Drovos, who's going to take this game. We're playing on Urban Central now. As you guys will see, also every match we play on a different map, just to keep things a bit varied and interesting as well.
Pinchmeister leaving it for minute 99. But he's the join in, and here we go.
Papa Case with a good kick-off there against the back wall with no clip, very quick to alleviate the pressure. We can see the pressure coming in from both sides, a bit of ping-pong going on here now.
Big clear though from Magoo, which is something that we have been asking for, and no blue team there to follow up. And this is a good pass from Grinchmeister, but well defended by Nyanto, coming across and just snuffing out the danger there. Magoo and No Clip going up for the same ball. That's something that they will have to be careful of, DF.
Yeah, we see one thing that I've seen is that Drovos does way less double commits than Biltong does at the moment. So that is something that Biltong needs to hopefully sort out, as that will really help them just to make better plays.
Exactly, and we still see a 0-0 game. Just as I say that, Grinchmeister up before No Clip, and he scores an excellent goal, DF.
Yes, a very good goal from Grinchmeister. As we see, they're nothing fancy, no air rolling, just high, up quickly, boom, goal. 1-0
And
Drovos.
How important is it to have a player like Grinchmeister in your team, who you know if he has an opportunity, he will score?
Yes, I think it almost seems like Grinchmeister is going to be one of those guys who's never going to have a bad day, because he's just always solid. He just always plays it textbook style. So you're going to have a player who might be very flashy, and just one day those flashy plays just doesn't work because people cut it out very quickly. But there's really nothing to cut out from Grinchmeister, because he will read you before you read him. He will shoot before you can try to defend. He will pass where you don't think he will pass. So I think Greenschmeister, very, very valuable player to have in your team, Lucas.
Exactly, and another player who we said will have some individual brilliance is Noclip, and he has had a quiet series so far, so maybe he can just spark to life and help Biltong with this series.
I think we're speaking a lot about like these teams need to make passing plays and play together as a team, but if there's one player who needs to pop off to maybe take this game and bring it back to their advantage, it is going to be Noclip. If he can spark back into that old Noclip that we know, who can make those 6 ceiling shots, passing, wall, backboard shots, then we're really going to have a game on our hands, because when he's in that mood and popping off, he is very, very difficult to stop.
But we've seen some excellent defending play from Droevors, as we see Nyanfo just barely missing that play, and now just relieving pressure is Greenschmeister. We spoke about how difficult it is to break down this Droevors team, and that's exactly what we see again in this game there.
Yes, very quick to very difficult to break them down, and as soon as one of the Droevors team members saves, then immediately there's someone to follow it up. Just like they do with the passing plays. As soon as someone passes, someone is there to follow it up. So offensively, defensively, these players, it's like they have been playing together for quite some time.
Exactly. Papa Cape's going in for that pass, Greenschmeister seeing him and rotating back, and Mother is there waiting for the pass. This is textbook Rocket League rotation there.
I definitely agree with you, Lucas. So to all the players who's watching, look at this, how they rotate. If you don't have boost and you don't have the shot, just don't try to do something silly that might put your team under pressure. Rather rotate back, wait in defense, wait for the clear from the other team, and let a team member come in and try. And Nyanfo there with a good goal. I think that seems easy, but it's definitely not an easy goal. That ball bouncing off the wall, he doesn't have a lot of angle to work with, but he manages somehow to put that in.
We've been praising Droevors' defensive play, not going for the same ball, and we see there, I think it was Greenschmeister and Mother going for the same ball, just leading to no one being in goal, and that cost him.
Yes, and one thing I think we can point out, if my memory serves me correctly, is that when Droevors has been up 2-0, they haven't lost a game yet. So they were 2-0 up again, but suddenly we see Biltong coming in with full force attacking, and we might just see an upset of the stats here.
Definitely Biltong will need to score the next goal. As we see Noclip uncharacteristically missing that ball, but Nyanfo is there to take it up the wall, and he will want to get a pass to his teammates. Greenschmeister putting that to his opposition, but Noclip very close to follow up
the pass. There's no one there to follow up Noclip's pass, which is something that's been characteristic so far of Orange team following up. But as we see, a wonderful follow-up there from Nyanfo, predicting where that ball's going to go, quickly up. We see Noclip going here, putting pressure on Greenschmeister, and then Nyanfo quickly up, no one back, open goal, boom, goal, 2-2. And we have a game on our hands, ladies and gents.
Exactly, and we see there Noclip with a good pass. Greenschmeister maybe caught a bit in no man's land, and it was difficult for him to challenge, but we said Noclip needed some individual brilliance. He went off the wall to give that pass to Nyanfo, and Nyanfo, being the excellent player that he is, just scored that. And Papa Cape's missing against the post, but he was there to follow it up, and he wants none of this close games. He wants to win this in a sweep.
That is a very good goal actually from Papa Capes. First missing the goal, but then quickly following it up, and before the scramble defense could come into full effect from blue team, Capes is already there and putting it in. As we said, he has a nose for snuffing out opportunities and putting opportunities like that away, and he's just done that.
Oh no, Nyanfo with an own goal, that would be so crunching DF. Mother with a massive clear. Nyanfo wanted to save that, it comes off the crossbar, not much you can do about that.
Lucas, what do you make of this mentality-wise? You would know you were 2-0 down, suddenly you bring it back up, it's 2-2, and then you go again a goal down, 3-2, and then an unfortunate own goal. How does a team recover from this to get back into this game mentality-wise?
It's very difficult. You need to stay positive when that happens. but with being 3-0 down and now 4-2 with only about 10 seconds left, it can be very demotivating, and I think there's no way back for them. Droevos will take the series with a sweep, something we did not expect at all, but I think we've seen some excellent plays from Droevos and they definitely deserve this win.
Yes, Lucas, I must say this was a very, very good series, very, very interesting. Droevos coming up with the goods when it mattered. In overall, when we try and summarize this, we will just say they had better clears, they had better passing plays, they had better rotation. It seems like they had better communication as well. Just playing overall together much more synergized as a team. Offensively, there was always someone to follow up a pass. Defensively, there was always someone to follow up a clear. And as we see here, that is what really helped to propel them to a 4-0 clean sweep of the series, best of 7 tonight.
Something I definitely did not expect. I expected a much closer game, but Droevos definitely, as you said, I think they deserve this win. Biltong will definitely be disappointed that they couldn't put up a bit better fight, but I'm sure they will want a rematch in the near future.
Yes, I think they will definitely want to rectify the mistakes they made tonight, the blue team. But I must say the blue team didn't necessarily play badly. It was just that the orange team was just a better team on the evening. They just did everything that we spoke about in the beginning. They did all of that precisely right, and that really helped them to win tonight's series. You see the teams going in for another one. I think this will just be for fun.
I think we can maybe end the stream here, DF, by doing the closing remarks, and then we'll jump in with them to play a few games.
Yeah, let's play a few games with them. So, yes, I think tonight was a very, very good series, very, very high level. So, if you want to know what South African Rocket League is about, share this link with your friends, family, play people overseas as well, so they can see how big this community is, how good this community is. And yeah, so thanks to all our viewers for tonight. I think that is really important, everyone who's watching and who has watched and who will be watching the VOD as well. Thank you so much for watching, to the players as well. I really appreciate you guys for making tonight. I know we all have busy schedules and we are tired in the evenings, but to make this possible on a Wednesday evening, it's really fantastic, and I think all of you played a wonderful game. Congratulations again to Droevos, to Grinchmeister, who plays for Red Neptune, Papa Capes, who plays for VXP, and Mother, who plays for OK Dame Speeds. Well done to you guys for coming together, playing well as a pickup team, and taking the honours of 4-0 clean sweep. And also special thanks to Hondok SA, all the way over there in England, casting this game for us in beautiful 1080p. I really appreciate it, man. And thanks, Lucas, for casting with me tonight. This was our casting debuts as well, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this too. And I believe you wanted to make a surprise or a special announcement, Lucas.
Yes, but before I get to that, Jeff, just from my side as well, thank you for all the players for playing, thank you for everyone for watching. Wondog, a special thanks to you for streaming this game for us. It was really a lot of fun. As you said, it was our casting debut. I hope we did a good job. So on to the announcement. So on Friday at 8 o'clock, we will have another one of these 6-mans. Friday is the 28th of July 2017. We'll have another one of these. It will be, maybe you can help me here, DF. It is myself playing, and you will be playing as well. And
yes.
Superman from IVE.
Yes.
Sumo as well will be playing.
We will
who am I missing?
Cool Guy
Cool
will
Guy
be playing
as well. Yes,
as well.
Cool Guy will be playing as well. And am I missing someone, Dave?
Yes, I think we are missing one more person. Let me quickly just check up on the list that you sent me today as well. Timmy. So it will be
Timmy.
you, me,
Timmy
Superman,
from
Timmy,
Detection.
Sumo, and Cool Guy. So yes, we also have the casters available already for Friday evening. It
Yep.
will be an
Wondog will stream
exclusive.
again.
yes, wonderful stream again, but we will have an exclusive PlayStation 4 casting lineup as well. So usually I know it's the PC guys who does it, and they do a really good job as well. But I'm also glad that the PS4 guys are now also saying, hey, we want a piece of that as well. We want to try that too, and help to grow this community. So the casters will be David de Freitas, as well as I Am Noob, or aka Zach it is. They will be doing the casting for us on Friday evening, and yeah, we will obviously make all the links and the info available during the next couple of days.
Exactly, and those players that also want to play in these 6-mans, just pop us a message and we will be more than happy to arrange these again in the future. And we definitely have plans to continue doing this, so if you are interested, just pop us a message, and we look forward to more of these. So that's it from our side, DF. Thank you everyone once again for watching, and have a very good evening.
Okay, bye bye allemaal, tot ziens, lekker aan.
Cheers.